Please be advised that this video is for the sole purpose of entertainment. Any views are purely my own, are subjective and may not necessarily be true. I do, however, do extensive research for all of my videos. All photos have been found on the public domain. I am using them under the fair use and fair dealing guidelines. I urge everybody to do their own research. Well, hello, it's Murky Meg here. It's Sunday the 5th of July and please excuse my lack of posting. I've been going through a very huge spike in pain levels recently and my mind has not been as it should be, so rather than put out a load of twaddle and my voice and my mind being twisted, I thought I'd let it have a rest for a while. So in this particular video we're going to be talking about the new filing of the documents with regards to Meghan Markle's case against the Associated Newspapers or Associated Press. These are mind-blowing documents that have been submitted. In it claims that Meghan believes that her wedding, that's the words, her wedding to Prince Harry raised £1 billion in tourism revenue, and the contribution of public funds towards crowd security was far outweighed by the tourism revenue of over £1 billion sterling that was generated from the royal wedding of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, which went directly to the public purse. This figure has been previously refuted by consulting firm Brand Finance, and they report that the figure was close to 300 million and not 1 billion. She pointed out that Princess Beatrice and Eugenie and Princess Michael of Kent undertake paid work as royals. Meghan denies saying in the letter to her father that she felt he had been victimised her and that she only had one father. She wrote that letter to stop him from being manipulated by the press rather than an attempt at reconciliation. Meghan spent her own money on flights for her father to and from London and his hotel for her wedding. And this is the doozy of them all. She felt that she was unprotected by the institution of the royal family and was prevented from defending herself, which left her friends rightly concerned for her welfare, specifically as she was pregnant. Wow. Okay, so let's go through these one by one, shall we? The whole she's raised £1 billion in revenue for the UK because of her wedding. Sweetheart, no matter who Prince Harry had married, royal weddings generate cash. It's just the way it is. We love a royal wedding. So whether it was you or Bertha at number 34, it was gonna raise money. Do you think that you're entitled to a cut of that? Do you think that justifies your spending? No, it does not. Irrelevant of who he married, it would have generated money. You are not special. But what you're doing by putting that in the court papers is looking like a spoilt child. It's a very manipulative way to try and justify the spending on your wedding by saying, well, I generated £1 million, so therefore what are you grumbling about? Sorry, love, it wasn't you that we wanted to see. It was Harry. We were happy that he was happy. We wanted to celebrate with him because he has been our cheeky chappy of a prince that we all loved. Notice the past tense there. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Cambridge's wedding also brought in £2 billion as well. Let's not forget all those beautiful babies that the Cambridges have had too. They've generated a lot in tourism as well, or have you forgotten that aspect? Let's now go on to the point where she says that Princess Beatrice and Eugenie and Michael of Kent undertake paid work. Yes, well they do, because they're not senior royals and they don't receive anything from the sovereign grant. You did. There's the difference. The princesses Beatrice and Eugenie are not working royals and they are under no obligation to attend royal events whatsoever. Beatrice works in finance and consulting and Eugenie is a director at a London art gallery. To actually name these three sets of people, or four sets of people, because the Kents seems extremely childish to me. It's almost like flinging mud and go, well, they're doing it, maybe I want to do it. The fact of the matter is, you are higher up in the succession because of Harry, and you were working members of the royal family. You got a sizable amount of allowance from both Charles, from the Duchy of Cornwall, and from the sovereign grant. There lies the difference. Bringing these 4 people into your court case is downright cruel, in my honest opinion. It seems childish, it seems extremely petulant, and it seems like you're clutching at straws, to be perfectly honest. The element of the court papers where she said that she denies saying in the letter that she felt her father had victimised her, and that she wrote the letter to stop him manipulated or being manipulated by the press, well, that's hearsay, to be perfectly honest. We've all read the letter. We know exactly how it reads. Omid Scooby has gone online to say that she had the press in mind when she wrote that letter. It's all there. That will come out in the court case. It also goes into detail that these 5 friends that spoke to People magazine have been named. We don't know those names at the moment. They are known as A, B, C, D, and E. We can all guess who they are. We have a little bit more information on that. They are all part of Meghan's inner circle. They are a long-term friend, a former co-star, a friend from LA, a one-time colleague, and a close confidant. Who are they? That's what I want to know. Who are those 5 people? Who fits the bill of those details? She is adamantly denying that she knew that they were speaking to the magazine. Now, what the focus is on the court case is whether Meghan had a reasonable expectation of privacy in the contents of the letter to her father, given the fact that she had discussed this letter with various people. And I think it's a given, the fact that these 5 people's names have been given to the court means that they will more than likely be called as witnesses for either side. And there was a very interesting article in the Times that was written by David Sherborne, her counsel, that she had discussed it with her husband, her mother, 2 friends, the palace communications team, and the solicitor. And also those 5 friends, I would imagine, because otherwise how on earth would they have known otherwise about that letter? The final part of the court case documents is squarely firing at the institution and the royal family. She felt she was unprotected and unable to defend herself against the stories that were out there. Well, I'm sorry, sweetheart, once again, you knew the score when you signed up for the royal family. I'm sure that Harry sat you down, as with everybody. I mean, for goodness sake, Chelsea knew the score and Cressida knew the score, which is why they didn't go any further with Harry. They couldn't cope with the fishbowl that is the royal family. You knew all about the royal family because you were a humongous stalker of Diana. You knew all about them. You knew all about Harry. That was a complete lie. You have to have known that the royal family are one of the biggest families in the world and they are subject to scrutiny. There have been numerous articles out there that have actually said that the aides were finding it extremely difficult to defend the articles that were out there because some of it was true, especially with regards to how she treated staff. Now, Royal T on Twitter posted this. Just wanted to add something I have said before. The person I know who worked for them said that they were under constant pressure to refute negative stories, but their hands were tied because most of the stories were true. This is why there were a few examples in the lawsuit. You cannot dispute an article if there is an element of truth in it. That is asking far too much of the institution. So if they cannot categorically deny the article is true, they cannot fight it. Now their PR team have slapped back and said that the Duchess of Sussex court case will not target the royal family, but will expose the inner workings of the palace. Well, I'm sorry, but that is one and the same. She's going after the royal family because she feels they didn't protect her. Well, they did. Just look at these examples of just a quick search that I found on Twitter. The royal family's mantra is never explain, never complain, whichever variation you want to put in that. Now, they cannot dispute any article with an element of truth that they think. So if she's behaved shockingly towards her staff, and there's an article that says that she's behaved shockingly to her staff, and they have witnessed this, they can't dispute that fact, can they? Now, Meghan claims that she suffered tremendous emotional distress and damage to her mental health, and this is why the Friends spoke to People magazine, allegedly. Now, the court documents state how at the beginning of 2019, following visits by friends to see her in London, some of her close circle of friends became extremely concerned at the aggressive attacks upon her in the media. And as a result of this, one of her closest friends decided that they should help by arranging to give an anonymous interview to the People magazine. Now, with regards to her feeling unprotected by the institution of the monarchy, a palace insider said that it's clear Meghan is not pulling any punches in her pursuit of this trial. The royal family will be absolutely dismayed at the assertion she was unprotected by the institution, which is a bold claim. The Queen, Prince Charles and the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge all went out of their way to make her feel welcome and will be hugely disappointed these allegations are being made so forcefully. When People magazine reached out to Kensington Palace for a comment with regards to these 5 friends speaking to that magazine, they were told no comment. This is a normal stance with regards to Buckingham Palace. It is the way that they do it and is standard practice for royal communications. Meghan claims had she been asked or been given the opportunity to participate, she would have asked the Kensington Palace communications team to say on the record that she had not been involved with the People magazine article, as she had not been. It was mandated by Kensington Palace communication teams that all friends and family of Meghan should say no comment. They told all of her friends that should a newspaper come knocking, that your response should be no comment. Unfortunately, this caused frustration among Meghan's friends and left everybody feeling silenced. And that is why they went to People. They were told not to comment, they were told to be silent. They felt that they couldn't be silent, so they had to speak up. Kensington Palace told them that no comment should be made, but they didn't listen. Allegedly, it's claimed that Meghan had no knowledge of the People magazine, and it was in fact Harry that informed her that this was going to go ahead, because he was told by the Kensington Palace communications team that People were running an article because they'd spoken to 5 of Meghan's friends. Whether or not she's taking aim directly at the royal family or the institution, this looks bad. They still receive a sizable sum from Charles, and they are going head to head with the institution, which the Crown heads up. It is so tacky. It's unbelievable that they have taken aim, and I can't figure out why on earth A, she's doing this, B, Harry is going along with this and apparently supports her 100%. This is his family, for goodness sake. My only thinking is, why on earth is she doing this? Why is she taking aim at the royal family? And I firmly believe that she's looking for a payout. It's the only option that I can think of. But what concerns me now is that they still hold their HRH titles and they're taking a swipe at the Queen. Could this very well be the straw that breaks the camel's back and the Queen revokes their titles? You cannot take a pop at the institution and therefore taking a pop at the monarch herself and expect nothing in return. No kickbacks, no retaliation, and no consequences because of this completely unexpected dig. Can you imagine what the Queen, Prince Philip and Charles and William are going through right now? They must be holding their head in their hands thinking, what earth has gone wrong and where is Harry in all of this? Is there ever any coming back after these documents have been filed that so blatantly fire directly at the royal family and the institution that comes below them? How are they feeling? How do you think things are going down within the palace walls right now? What do you think of her bizarre claims that pinpoint these documents that are filed with regards to firing at Beatrice and Eugenie and the Duke and Duchess of Kent, saying, well, they did it, so I can't win. They wanted an in and abandon out. They wanted to be half in, half out. They wanted their royal lifestyle, but with the added extra of being able to earn millions, if not billions. This just shows them how petty they really are. And would anybody really want to work with them from now on if they behave so badly to their previous employer? You've got to look at it like that, haven't you? You can just look at them and go, well, if we don't give her what she wants, what on earth is she going to do to us? Is she going to sue us too? I would love to know your thoughts on all of this. I'd love to know your thoughts on who you think the 5 people are in the letter. Now we have a little bit more detail on who they are. I'd love to know how you think the Queen is dealing with this, and Prince Philip and Prince Charles, and of course William and Kate. I'd love to know what you think of the filings themselves. Do you think that she has any significant standing in filing these claims, and what do you think the fallout will be? Will they be finally stripped of their titles, or, as always, will the Queen and the royal family just simply say no comment? Is this why Harry stopped using the palace's lawyers? Because they were gearing up for a fight against the royal family. As always, I would love to know your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.